Pablo Escobar, one of the most well-known criminal kingpins of the 20th century, died about 25 years ago. His allure and legacy live on to this day. Many people think of him as a violent criminal, but the residents of Medellin, Colombia, think of him as a Robin Hood-like person who helped the needy. Regardless, Escobar and his cartel were worth billions of dollars at one point. What happened to the infamous Pablo Escobar mansion, we wondered. Let's find out. Pablo Escobar House, Colombia, Hacienda Napoles. The relentless stream of canned jungle rhythms can already be heard as you go through the first gate at Hacienda Napoles, a theme park that was once the most famous of Pablo's many properties. The original cracked entrance is atop a blue and white light propeller aircraft, Pablo's first of many. The theme park's second entrance, consisting of two wooden towers with a single hum across them, a poor man's imitation of Jurassic Park's entrance, is brand new. It's an incongruous start to Parque Tamatizo Hacienda Napoles, a dubious effort by the government and business sector to turn Pablo's dirty money fantasy into something nice. A 15 square kilometer area of terrain, less than 4 hours from Medellin, is home to dozens of creatures. Big cats nervously pace back and forth in cages, while zebras, rhinoceros, and elephants wander the pastures. The safari begins with an auto rickshaw journey, which is included in the ticket charge. To visit the park stars, the cocaine hippos. After Pablo died, most of the animals in the estate's erstwhile private zoo, reputed to be the world's greatest private collection of pets, died of starvation, but the hippos thrived. They grew from 4 to roughly 20 hippos, making them the world's largest herd of hippos outside of Africa and well-known icons of the cocaine trade. The Parque Jurásico is the next destination on the safari, equipped with life-sized concrete dinosaurs that Pablo erected when he was still entertaining movie stars and underage ladies at Hacienda Napoles, his most opulent estate. Guests can go to the property's 500-seat bullring, which has been refurbished after being dropped off, except for a photo exhibit along the outer ring that depicts Pablo's contacts with corrupt politicians, drug lords, and journalists who saw matadors and bulls fight in the private ring during their visits to Hacienda Napoles. It remains deserted, except for a quick clean of the algae-infested pool and the addition of enlarged images of his exotic pets, family, and funeral that now adorn the former bedroom walls. His mansion has remained nearly unaltered. Any attempt at rehabilitation would almost certainly lead to the house collapsing. The skeleton of the mansion, which now functions as a museum dedicated to the thousands of victims of Pablo's drug war, can still be toured. Grab an inner tube and float around the lazy river for a few meters away if the sight of fire automobiles, bleeding bodies, and dead police officers become too much to bear before embarking on an eco tour through the beautiful grasslands, following one of Pablo's 6 escape routes by bike or horseback. After seeing the recreated version of Pablo's personal Noah's Ark, the remains of his mansion, and the automobile graveyard, which houses the torched remains of his classic car collection, you might notice the 2,000 inmate prison on the outskirts of the property, a reminder from the Colombian government that crime does not pay. Pablo Escobar House, Medellin, La Catedral. Escobar was granted the freedom to choose who would guard him in addition to the facility being built to his specifications, and it was assumed that he had chose guards who were entirely devoted to him. Furthermore, it was thought that the prison was built more to keep Escobar's opponents out and shield him from assassination attempts than to keep Escobar in. Because of its facilities, the completed prison was dubbed Hotel Escobar or Club Medellin. There was a football pitch, a big dollhouse, a bar, a jacuzzi, and a waterfall at La Catedral. While on the phone with his daughter, Escobar had a telescope installed that allowed him to gaze down on the city of Medellin to her home. According to PBS, the government was willing to turn a blind eye to Escobar's drug smuggling, but the deal broke apart when it was revealed that Escobar tortured and executed 4 of his lieutenants within La Catedral. Pablo Escobar House, Guatepe, La Manuela, the party mansion. Prohibido al ingreso reads a sign atop La Manuela, Pablo's famed home on the edge of Guatepe's man-made lake. It's placed adjacent to a barbed wire fence with only a small space to allow intruders to pass. Pablo's bombed-out mansion is on a glistening turquoise lake with views of opulent estates and rolling hills that are almost too green to be genuine. The home seems more likely to be the work of Tim Burton or Francis Ford Coppola than the result of 2 decades of robbery and neglect. El Patron caused turmoil to this tranquil community 90 minutes from Medellin when he erected his mansion along the lake. Guatepe, which has resurfaced as a favorite weekend resort for Colombians in the area, was formerly considered too unsafe for travelers. It's been just over 2 decades since the pool deck was used as a helipad and the lakefront as a drug-running plane landing strip. The dark brown pool water has now become too hazardous to swim in. Much of the home has been consumed by vegetation, which has grown through the roof and the disintegrated exterior. Trespassers' names, as well as their aberrant work of art, skulls, nude batwomen, and pointy-eared monsters, decorate the peeling walls of all 3 portions of the huge property. La Manuela, a decaying peninsula surrounded by breathtaking beauty, resembles purgatory in both look and purpose. It, like many of Pablo's other multi-million-dollar properties, is stuck in limbo while the government tries to navigate the moral and logistical minefield of its future. Choosing the best use for the drug-funded property and the proceeds from its sale is a delicate and legally complex issue. Pablo Escobar House, Tulum, Mexico. This opulent hotel in Mexico's Caribbean coast was previously a home owned by Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, albeit there are little traces of his history left now. Leo Malka, a well-known New York art collector and gallery owner, purchased Pablo Escobar's luxury Tulum, Mexico villa in 2012. Malka renamed the mansion Casa Malka and turned it into a boutique hotel. Malka's artwork, as well as works by Keith Haring and Marion Peck, are on display throughout the hotel. Despite the fact that the house once belonged to narco icon Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria, visitors are unlikely to find a link between the ruthless bandit and the current location. Tulum is attempting to return to its roots when it was favored by people from all over the world seeking an alternative to Cancun, a place of beauty, magic, and genuine Mexican Caribbean taste. House of Pablo Escobar in Miami. A 6,500 square foot house on Miami Beach was also owned by the Colombian drug lord. The 4-bedroom Pablo Escobar house in Miami was built in 1948 and is right on the Biscayne Bay coastline. The property was taken by the US government in the 1980s, long before Escobar's death. But that isn't the most intriguing aspect of this property. They discovered a metal safe after the home's new owner, Christian de Bordois, demolished the structure in 2016. The former mafia boss was well known for stashing large sums of money within the house's walls and floors, so it shouldn't come as a huge surprise to find another lost treasure. De Bordois did, in fact, discover the second safe beneath the floor, but it had been stolen. The first safe, according to our knowledge, has yet to be opened and is kept in a bank vault. Workers tearing down the former Miami mansion of iconic Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar discovered a heavy metal safe and are still trying to figure out what it holds. The locked safe was discovered as workers were razing Escobar's Miami Beach mansion in the 1980s. It was discovered buried in concrete at the opulent mansion's entrance. The safe was discovered after one of the last walls of the 7,336 square foot house crashed down. According to the Miami Herald, the gray safe sinking into the floor was identified by one of the workers. It was a drab color. I grabbed it with an excavator's claw, recognized it was a safe, and began yelling. The Medellin cartel leader Escobar is thought to have used the 1948 home as a hideout and a bolt hole for his subordinates when trafficking cocaine between Colombia and the US. The Miami property, along with $20 million in other Florida holdings, was seized by the US in 1987. This is the second time a safe has been discovered on an Escobar home. The kingpin is said to have amassed so much wealth that he was unable to launder it all and instead kept it concealed and buried until he needed it. The first safe, which was discovered beneath a marble slab, was stolen, and a search is on to find it. The most recent find will be taken to a bank to be opened while it is being processed. What do you think of these luxury mansions with a horrid past? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, then like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content. See you next time.